Alright guys, so, well, first of all, I'm going to get up for a second. So this is what is left of my RC car. So I just got done taking it apart. Well, first of all, the reason why I don't run no more is there's no fluid in here in the back differential, and it's all ground up and stuff, so the gears are. So I looked up, I went to the hobby shops and stuff, and well, today's kind of an off-topic video, but it's still with the motor theme, my YouTube channel. So it's gonna cost more than I paid for this RC car to rebuild it. It's gonna cost like $150, and I paid like $140 for it. So I figure if I ever want to get back into that hobby, which I probably will in the next couple years, I'll just buy another one. So what I did is I took everything that wasn't the engine off of this. I just left this base plate in here to hold the gas tank in. So as you can see, I've already started it. It does shoot oil and nitro fuel out of the exhaust. It just does that. So it's currently raining, and that's why I'm not doing anything with my dirt bike or anything. Just kind of chilling back here. Got a school dance at 7, so it's not like a prom. It's just like middle school. You just go there, hang out with your friends. That's about it. So I'm going to explain the physics on this engine to you in a minute once I get a chair. This thing looks heavy, but it's actually quite light. I'm not sure what it's made out of. I'm thinking pine, though. So, we now have a chair. Alright, so with this thing, as you can see, that I'm just going to point out, at first I'm going to point out the main components: gas tank, fuel lines, air filter. That's the clutch, but since it doesn't have a gear right there anymore, it just kind of spins. Might take that off because it's kind of a pain in the butt. It makes the engine rev faster when I don't want it to, just because it's kind of heavy. It's made of brass. So there's that. Here's the engine. Here's the engine mounts. Engine. This whole... Oh, sorry. That's probably ear rape. That whole thing, that whole big blue thing, is the head. Only the cylinder head, as you can see right through it. That is why, because it provides cooling when you're at the track, and that's why you shouldn't run these engines without a fan or something blowing on them. It's because they rev high, they get hot quick, and they also, they also tend to blow up if they get too hot. So it's a 2-stroke, and that whole thing right there is the cylinder. Here's the pull start. Got some actually really good compression for this small of a motor. Obviously it's not going to start when I pull that, because unlike a regular gas motor, this is not a diesel. It's the same concept though. It has a glow plug, and that's kind of hot because I was just running it, but it's not that bad. Also, a good thing about these engines is they cool down quick. They don't get so hot. Just the metal gets hot. These are plastic zip ties and a plastic muffler, so it doesn't get that hot. It cools down very quick. So that's a glow plug in there. And how you ignite this motor is either you have an electric igniter, which I don't, or you have this thing. It's called, well, like an igniter. Put the glow plug in there, shut it like that, and you have a spark. Well, you have a hot glow plug. So now it should start. Jesus Christ. Wow. I pulled it barely and it almost started. Holy crap. That scared the crap out of me. Alright, so I'll start it. Maybe. Alright, so it's pretty loud, but it's just gonna do that. stop them. And that's how you stop it. You pinch the fuel line, or you just put your finger over the muffler. I prefer to put your finger over the muffler, but I didn't want to get my hands greasy since I'm holding the camera. And it's just now starting to rain pretty good, so I'm gonna bring this right in here. Hopefully don't drip on anything. I'll just put it right there. Turn my chair around. There we go. So, it stinks. Nitromethane smells like skunk, or as some people would compare it to weed. Marijuana, weed. It filled up my garage with smoke, and you do not want to breathe in the smoke from this. Just, I'm not sure why, but you just don't. As I'm doing it right now, just don't do it. It actually hurts your throat if you do it enough. I've done it at the track and stuff. So, these engines are amazing. I actually really like them. They're just fun to mess with. They're cheap. Like an engine like this, exactly like this, would cost you about 55 bucks. And that's shipped to your door. So, my God, it's so filled with smoke in here. By the way, it does blow blue smoke. You want it to do that. They're also very easy engines to tune, because you can tune them by, if they're blowing white smoke, then they're too lean. If you're fouling glow plugs, just like a spark plug or a diesel glow plug, if you're fouling those things, then you are running it too rich, or you have not a hot enough plug. They sell low heat plugs, medium, high, very high, and lightning, I think, or just something like that. I'm running SOS light, SOS medium plugs right now, and I'll show you that in a minute. By the way, like I said, very easy to tune. If you have like really blue smoke coming out of the exhaust, then, and a lot of it, and there's mosquitoes out here, and it's basically winter, and I don't know why there's mosquitoes. So anyway, if you have a lot of blue smoke, like it's constantly puffing and the throttle is really boggy, then it's running too rich. If it's anywhere in between that, like I was just running it, then it's fine. Usually the low speed needle, otherwise known as the idle adjustment, you don't need to mess with that too much. Just leave it at what it comes with when you get it. But this high speed needle, which is right here, this is my little throttle thing I just rigged up like 5 minutes ago. Just what used to be a safety pin. So this high speed needle right here, you probably can't see this, but how about if I use the other end without killing myself? Alright, so this high speed needle, which is right there, right, that thing, is usually about 2.5 turns out from all the way in. Just kind of like my last video yesterday, I think it was, of the tuning of a dirt bike air needle. About the same concept with that, except 2.5 is what it comes with, and that's usually, because with breaking these in, you have to run 8 tanks of fuel through it, and don't go over quarter throttle. Basically like any other engine. That's the old school way, but that's also the way they use it for these. So there's so many new break-ins for like dirt bikes and stuff, like the heat cycles where you start it, run it like you stole it, let it cool, and do that about 4 times. Or there's the old school way of not going over quarter throttle for a while. There's the one I like, which is called medium. Just ride it like you regularly would, just with a little more oil in it. But with this, you buy the nitro fuel. This runs on 20%. You can run them on 30, but it has a higher chance of blowing up just because, you know, it's nitro. I could go so into depth on this, like it's ridiculous. I could sit here and talk about these things for hours because they're just so simple. Is it raining? Oh, it's wind. I thought it was raining or someone's coming down my driveway. Let's go back here to the shop. So, I'm gonna take this thing. Anyway, they're so simple. I could just, if you want to get started on engines, just go ahead and buy one of these and or just an RC car. Before doing that, I would suggest buying just an engine, mounting it to a thin piece of wood like this or something. But they're just so simple, they're fun. If you run them right, they don't blow up. And if they do blow up, it's not going to cost you $500 to repair. Like, if that thing right there blows up, it costs about $500. This, you'll only be down about $50. You can't really rebuild these, they're just one-shot deals. If they blow up, they blow up. Like I said, you just can't rebuild them. Somewhat you can, but, like, compare it to a dirt bike, and it's just so much simpler. Or any other engine. If you're getting started on engines, I recommend one of these. Get a cheap weed whacker from your hardware store, from your local thrift store. Mess with that, or get a Predator 212. All three of these are so simple, but by far this is the simplest and the funnest. So the fuel, we're talking. Okay, I have this bottle drying because it was like nasty and stuff. I haven't used it in a while. So this is the fuel bottle that you'll get with. You won't get this. You'll have to buy this. Comes in a kit with the fuel bottle, wrench thingy for the tires, and glow plug wrench. It does not come with glow plugs. It comes with one in the motor. You have to buy them. But other than that, it comes ready to run. And it's just a little fuel thing. Runs on 20% nitro. I have mine marked. And this is the nitro I use, and only nitro I use. I don't use Traxxas because I think that's a load of crap. I use Byron Gen 2 race fuel. As you can see, the can is sucked in because I haven't opened it. And it's so weird. Like the nitro, when it turns to vapor, it like implodes, implodes. So if you leave this in the sun, this can will be probably flat in a day if it's like 80 outside. But if you leave a gas can in the sun, the gas expands when it turns to vapor, so it like blows the can up to where you almost can't get it open. So I use Byron Gen 2. It's cheap and it works great. Let's see how much. 16% lubrication. So they use castor oil in these for lubrication. That's why it kind of spits it out of the exhaust. Traxxas uses some other kind of synthetic oil, but it still does the same thing. Talk more about that. That 1 gallon jug will cost you about $25. Traxxas will cost you about $40. Depends what you want to do. If you're going Traxxas for life, then I could care less. But these things are so fun, so simple. Get one. The air filter gets dirty very quick, so this one needs to be replaced, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. I have actually these things that I made out of, I think, just a piece of craft foam I have laying around. Take both of these things. There's 2 air filter patty things is what I call them. So just slip one of those in there, and those work too perfectly. But for tuning wise, I just stick with the stock ones. You should oil them just like any other filter. Just use. They sell RC car fuel or RC car filter oil, but if you have a dirt bike or something, that oil will work fine. Or if you don't have any of that, just use old motor oil use new motor oil, and it'll work the same, the exact same. So I'm just putting these back in. Okay, so yeah, I'll get a little bit more in depth with these glow pluggy things. So this is what they look like if I can get one off of the wrench. They're very small, also very expensive. This little guy here will cost you about $12. This is the nicest one you can get here in Spokane at the hobby shop. Real nice. Cost you about $12. Oh, it's just an OS. I don't know what that stands for, but I know it's blurry, but you just have to deal with it. Then I'm going to put this thing on here so you guys can see what it looks like when they are lit up. And that's what it looks like. I'll show it to you. That's, is this one dead? No. Oh, my glow plug igniter's dead. Okay, that kind of sucks. Well, let's see if this one works. Here, just a second. Stay right there for a minute. Pretty sure my igniter's dead. Yeah, guys, my igniter's dead. I gotta recharge it. Hasn't been charged since about this time last year, so I expect it to be dead. But you kind of saw it a little bit, but maybe I'll make another video on this. I think I might even make this a 20-minute video. I mean, you guys probably know enough about these already, then just click off the video now. But if you're still interested, come along with the ride. Come right along with me for the rest of the video. This is a vent hose. Vent hose, it goes to the exhaust, and the exhaust has a little baffle down here, and it pushes air back, kind of like an expansion chamber. You can get metal pipes for this too, that are tuned, that are straight piped. Straight piped, I'm losing my voice. That goes to the exhaust, and that one, and it pushes fuel through this one into the engine, kind of like a fuel pump. And the way to prime these, if there's no fuel in your hose, what the? Was that a gunshot? Nah. That might have been. Honestly, you hear a lot of stuff like that here. And it's just idiots like me playing with fireworks, usually. So, you put your finger over the exhaust, and pull the starter, and it'll have that suction in the motor, and it'll pull stuff through the line. And to stop it, you can either pinch the line, or put your finger over the exhaust. So, they suck a lot of fuel. And you figure they did it. Jesus, alright. Gotta talk slower. So, these things run usually at about 10,000 to 14,000 RPMs. And if you get the smaller ones run faster. Like this is a .18 EXC, which means it's basically a 3cc. Like that's a 25cc weed whacker. This is a 3cc nitro motor. They go all the way up to 8, hobby style. And then you get into like the airplane stuff that are like 30cc nitro motors, and then it just gets into gas after that. So this was real fun when it was actually an RC car. It has independent suspension and be dropped from basically anywhere. Doesn't really do a whole lot. Even on here it'll probably smack, but I don't really care. Oh yeah. But it was fun. It was real fun. It was a nice hobby. I'll probably get into it again eventually, but I just spent all of my spending money, my play money basically, on dirt bike graphics that aren't going to get here for another 2 weeks. So, of course, I always have money in the bank, but not enough. So, once again, I want to tell you one more time, fun little engine, you should get one. I'm not going to go too much more in depth with this. If you have any more questions, ask me in the comments. I will be more than happy to reply. Like I said, I could sit here and talk for hours about these little things, but you saw the demonstration. That's about all I have for you, really. It was just a rainy day. I had nothing else to do. Not really any dirt bike stuff going on. Fixed up. Yeah. That's about it. So, like if you want to, comment if you want to, subscribe if you want to. Don't care. I don't care. I'm not those people that are like, comment, subscribe right now. I'm here to educate people. Educate people, entertain people, whatever. That's about it. Not much else. So, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, have a good day.